Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, January the 4th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm a founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. I'm gonna warn you, not gonna be very positive in this video because of the news that we saw, the injury that we saw in last night's game. Just one day after Elias Pettersson had probably the best day of his very short NHL career so far, his rookie year, on Wednesday, named Rookie of the Month, named to the All-Star Game, $425,000 in bonuses, first career hat trick, all those things. He got injured in yesterday's game against the Montreal Canadiens, a game that saw the Vancouver Canucks lose 2-0. And I wasn't upset from the standpoint of I couldn't think or couldn't do anything, but I was upset for him. I was upset for Canucks fans last night. I admittedly was upset at the player, and you guys know this. I can't even, ever since the draft, I can't even say this guy's name, and I don't want to say his name because of what happened, but upon listening to post-game comments and watching the replay, even when I saw the replay the first time, I was, it looked bad, obviously, with Pettersson's right knee buckling underneath him, but I didn't think it was actually a dirty play. Of course, like the majority, I wish it was penalized for sure because it happened, 15, 20 feet away from the puck. So I certainly think it could have been a penalty. But when it comes to the actual takedown, we see that all the time. We see that in hockey. I know I've seen that in my roller hockey league, mostly because I'm one of the guys who can't skate. No, I don't take guys down, nor do I get taken down a lot. People just leave me alone. I think they kind of respect the old guy who doesn't know what he's doing. But my point is, I see that play happen a lot. I see two guys get tangled, whether it's near the boards, at the front of the net, in neutral zone, whatever it may be. And I can't say his name, Kotkaniemi, did he exert a bit more force when he was pulling Pettersson back? Did he try and hurt him? I don't think so. We heard Travis Green say that Pettersson actually tried to go back with a bit of a reverse hit. So if you look at it as objectively as you can, you see two young competitive guys who are both trying to establish themselves in the league. Pettersson a bit more than the other guy. I'm not going to say his name for the rest of the video, A, because I can't, and B, because I'm still a little mad at him, but not mad at him where I'm going to threaten him on social media. It was just more of an unfortunate thing. Pettersson doesn't get injured. We're not thinking about this. We're complaining that it wasn't a penalty, right? And that's really the gist of it. But because he had to leave the game, did not return, then of course we're upset. And I get it. Pettersson's, as I said, he single-handedly sped up the rebuild by a year or two. He's single-handedly giving Canucks fans hope, even for a potential playoff berth this season. I know a lot of people don't want that, but I know, it gets me excited for sure. Heck, I'm the guy who keeps talking about, that they're 1 point out or posting pictures of standings, whatever it may be. So I want to be positive, right? So all these things, I think bottom line is in having a day or a night to reflect on is, yes, it was unfortunate. Yes, it should have been a penalty, given the Canucks a power play. I'm not upset at the lack of pushback from the Canucks players. I know some people were, the usual, because they're thinking about the Mike Matheson incident with Florida instead of the Martell incident or the Gord incident with Tampa Bay. So two different, kind of viewpoints there, two different approaches that the Canucks took. But I can't get in their heads. We hear that whether maybe Brandon Sutter shouldn't have said it was an innocent play, but they were saying that very similar things, that maybe it was unnecessary or it should have been a penalty. But in general, if you think it's a penalty but you didn't think it was dirty or malicious or intentional, then I could see why the Canucks players during that time were afraid, or not afraid, wrong word, didn't want to put themselves in a position where they could put the team shorthanded. The game was still within reach at that time, right? It was 1-0 when happened, and the Habs scored right after that, so it was 2-0. But they still had the whole third period to try and catch up. So again, unfortunate, and we hope for the best news today. The good news is Pettersson, he's not flying home today. He's staying with the team. So he'll get his MRI done, I guess, in Montreal or Toronto. If they got into Toronto, Ray, I'm sure it'll be in Toronto. Find a good doctor there, of course, and then we'll know more. So we'll know if it's a sprain, if it's a bruise, or whatever it may be. And hopefully it's something that keeps him out for 1 or 2 weeks as opposed to 3 to 6 months. So I won't speculate too much. We will see what happens, and I'm sure it'll be all over Twitter once the news breaks about how long Pettersson will be out. And without Pettersson, you see the Canucks are a different team. Their power play looks boring. Doesn't look dangerous at all. Of course, you have to juggle your lines, but the forward lines didn't look that dangerous. You just see what a difference a player makes. And of course, the Canucks still have good players, in Bo Horvat and Brock Besser, and potentially, you know, young good players in guys like Virtanen and Stetcher and Hutton and so on and so forth. But you could see that when it makes sense, any team you take out their best, well, except for maybe a team like Toronto or Tampa, but you generally take out your best player, your highest scoring player, and you are going to have trouble scoring the puck. It makes natural, logical sense, so intuitive sense. So that means that the Canucks power play, like I said, did not look good last night, and they looked unorganized, and simply they didn't look that dangerous. So yeah, I don't want to say too much about last night's game. I'm not upset from a standpoint of I can't talk or I can't think. Rather, there wasn't really much to say aside from the injury to Elias Pettersson. So we hope for good news today. I'm not expecting the worst news. I'm not going to say I'm expecting the worst, but hoping for the best. I'm simply hoping for the best. Whether that's, like I said, maybe the best case scenario is he misses the Toronto game, they come home, and then he gets to play in the next week or two. Certainly want him healthy enough, as long as it doesn't wreck anything, healthy enough for the All-Star game and then the rest of the season. So leave a comment below, Canucks fans. You may not agree with me, especially if you still think it was a dirty play, if you still think that the Canucks players should have shown more pushback. I know a lot of my friends, we were messaging back and forth last night, and some of them think that the Canucks were very weak in not showing any pushback. But you know, I take their word for it as to why they didn't. But and maybe, again, like I said, they didn't think it was a dirty play intentionally. But you know, you still see your best player writhing on the ice, so maybe you do want more pushback than they showed. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply, as always. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. And the Canucks go into Toronto to finish off their road trip tomorrow, a road trip that's seen them go 3-2, so already a successful road trip, despite the injury to their best player yesterday. So we hope for good news today. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.